Hi guys, I'm so excited to have my next guest. Oh my God, I look to her as YouTube royalty. She's somebody that runs an amazing group. She's a founder of the Hypergamous Life. She graduated from NYU, and she's just so funny and so smart, so beautiful, and I'm just like so excited to have her here. How are you, Chloe?
I'm well. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So let's get started. So you are the founder of Hypergamous Life, and a lot of people don't even know what that word means. So like, what does hypergamy mean to you?
Hypergamy in a nutshell means dating at or above your level, but preferably above your level financially.
Mhm.
Dating men who are financially more well off than you are yourself.
Hmm. Awesome. I love that. And I feel like just a little bit of background for my listeners who are new, like I'm divorced, thank God. And like I was the very like because I'm Chinese ethnicity. And I used to go back to China and be like, oh my God, all these women are only care about like a man's income. What about his heart and all that stuff? And then
Mm-hmm.
when I got married, I married for love. And I'm not saying
Mm-hmm.
don't marry for love, but it shouldn't be the only thing. But like, I was the breadwinner. I was the head of the household when it came to filling the tax forms. Very painful, guys. And that's
Wow.
why when I got divorced, I was like, all right, let's do the opposite because whatever I did wasn't working. And so I looked at a lot of new YouTube channels. That's how I found Chloe's channel because I feel like it's very funny and very concise and very smart and one of the best YouTube and I'm curious, like, how did you start on your hypergamous journey?
I started my journey just by observation. I dated a lot in my 20s, and I had a long-term relationship in my early teens to about 21.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a 5-year relationship, but this person that I dated had very little ambition and drive.
Mm-hmm.
And culturally, he just didn't expand himself or evolve himself. And we loved each other very much, but I outgrew him.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew from there that I would never date a man who wasn't cultured, who wasn't intelligent, who wasn't driven or ambitious. Someone I knew just from intuition wise, I just knew I needed to be with someone that I could respect.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just continued to date men that I respected, but I didn't necessarily follow money. I just kept expanding myself culturally and exposing myself to just, different cultures, traveling.
Mm-hmm.
And then I met my husband.
Awesome. And what do you love about your husband?
Ah, so much. Great personality, um, very driven, ambitious, hardworking,
Mm-hmm.
but intelligent and creative and kind. Um, People would say he's a diamond in the rock, but he wasn't 100% perfect, but he definitely had all the qualities of an amazing person, an amazing boyfriend, and then an amazing partner and an amazing father.
I love it. Like
Yeah.
the one thing I love about like high value women who are also feminine who are with guys that they love is like you can just feel the respect, right? I'm just like, man, like I wish I had a relationship like you have with your husband because you can tell, right? So I love that he's providing for you and just you
Absolutely.
and the women are so much happier, it's just like when I hear women like brag about their men instead of like um I guess like making excuses, it just shows, and I love that, and congratulations.
Thank you.
So what mistakes do you see like modern women making in relationships? Because you coach a lot of women as well, and I'm sure like you have way more experience on that side. Like, what are some of the major mistakes you see them making?
Yes, I do personal consultations, and I'm actually so booked right now. I get a variety of experiences coming my way. Sometimes women I consult, they are concerned about aging as single women.
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot of that. I get a lot of women who have attracted narcissistic relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to work on their self-esteem and their codependency traits. Sometimes, codependency is a spectrum. So
Mm-hmm.
you can be the nice girl, or you can be completely a people pleaser
Mm-hmm.
on steroids.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of those. I also get a lot of women who want to be mothers
Mm-hmm.
and they aren't married. And so I find that a lot of uh, socialized conditioning, where women want to be mothers and wives, starts to become a fear of not happening
Mm-hmm.
with modern women. It's like modern women, we embrace our independence, we embrace ourselves as individuals. But then, when 35 hits, the clock starts ticking, and society does start to shift on women in a very radical way, in a way that women don't often expect. And I think that conversation is not being had enough. I noticed with my friends who I have amazing friends who are accomplished, but they are single, and they have been perpetually single, and they always struggle with to find good, healthy relationships, and or hypergamous relationships, because they just were career women and they only focused on being educated and intellectual, and no one ever taught them about how to be feminine or even what hypergamy is. So I find that modern women are just lost um, on power dynamics in relationships, on understanding how men think. And we just need to have a more balanced conversation with modern women about fulfillment, and what makes a woman feel balanced and complete within herself, and fulfilled. We know that careers are great, and we know that being smart and intelligent is great, and no one's taking that away from women. I have it for myself, but you also want to have that complementary side to you, which is usually a relationship and a family.
Yes.
And it's not to be downplayed. It's very important for women to have those things. And I think the modern narrative has shaped women into downplaying the importance of, or the wiring, or the desire to want to have a family.
Yes, I love that.
Whether that means just a husband, whether that means a nuclear family, lesbian couple, gay couple. Gay couples are adopting. People seek fulfillment. So I think fulfillment is why my channel has resonated so much with women, particularly Black women, but women in general.
Yeah, I love that, because I think when I watched your video on like 35, because I'm 29 right now, like, and it's like, oh wait, I have to start thinking about this. So thank you so much for posting those videos, because fulfillment is such an important word that I think just being in America is just like, oh, you're supposed to achieve, you're supposed to work as hard as a man, and like, I'm not taking away from that, but yeah, I agree. The channel that you show, the side of women, like, it's almost like a secret desire. It's like, oh my god, like, what are you doing wanting a relationship? We're almost shamed for that. So thank you so much for
absolutely.
making those videos. So let's talk about femininity, because I feel like we don't even do we even use that word anymore? I mean, of course in the hypergamous circles, but like, what does femininity mean to you? Like why is it important for women to understand what it is?
Great question. Femininity for the modern woman has been kind of just swept under the rug. It is becoming more popular again as women seek to have more open conversations about the impact of their personal strength on their lives, which is femininity. So femininity means to me using that is an energy that is born from within to be creative in your life. It is a special sauce or a magic or an aura that women possess that they can use to for themselves, because femininity is its own reward, and also with men. So it's just an energy that is very balancing to the masculine, and that should be nurtured within women instead of ignored or pushed to the side or completely crushed within many women. So I think that's the best way I can describe it. But femininity is also an action. It's how you wear your makeup, how you wear your hair, how you dress, how men respond to you is also a part of the feminine dynamic or femininity dynamic.
I love that. Awesome definition. Probably the best definition I've heard so far.
Okay.
So yeah. So now you have a daughter. So teach your daughter in terms of like being like a modern feminine woman.
Can you repeat that again?
Yeah, like what do you teach your daughter about being like a feminine woman? I guess it depends on the age of your daughter too. I didn't think of that.
Right. Well, she's under 10. She's under 10.
So yeah, like what I guess what
right
would
now
you teach her?
she's still a kid, but I feel like her opportunity to become a feminine woman is my responsibility by how I live my life. I am her role model. And her best chance at becoming a feminine woman is by watching what I do, how I speak, how myself and my husband interact, how we interact as a family, and how I treat myself as a feminine woman. So she's, you know, into painting her nails and her toenails, and of course, and dressing in mommy's clothes and shoes. But there's also about how to carry herself as a young lady, how to speak, how to spot a man who has integrity, you know, which is my husband. And it's really about leading by example for my daughter.
I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
In a really great Facebook group. I'm in it as well. I highly recommend it. Like, can you tell us more about your group? Like, who should join and who should not join?
Sure. My group is called The New Feminine. It is a finishing school where I answer any woman's questions on femininity and hypergamy and relationships and dating and self-care and attitude and etiquette, which is probably the most important part of creating yourself, or, you know, creating the dynamic of a high value woman. So the New Feminine is for women who are sincerely interested in elevating themselves and stretching themselves in ways to understand themselves better in relationships with men. It's not about for men, but it's about, okay, when I meet a guy, when I meet a potential suitor, what do I want from this experience? That is what I teach women.
Yeah, I love the group.
And who isn't good for the group?
Yeah.
I feel like women who haven't done, I would say, their basic homework on femininity, or women who aren't internally driven to expand themselves, that is who the group is not for. And that is okay. You know, not everyone and not every woman is destined to become, you know, a feminine, hypergamous woman. I respect all women. I respect women who are athletes, who are, you know, PhD candidates, women who have important work to do that has nothing to do with a relationship and a family. I respect those women. But women who are feminine and women who want high value men and women who want family, they are to be respected as well. We all have our place in society. We all have our role to fulfill. Not all of us can be astronauts and, you know, the first female president. And, you know, some of us want to be moms, and that is okay. Some of us want to be a support system to our husbands, and that is okay. And some of us want to raise families in a healthy dynamic, and that is okay. And that is who my group is for as well.
I love it. Yeah, I highly recommend it. Awesome group. Check it out. I'm gonna put the link down below. So okay, let's switch to some more like crazy fun questions. What would you do if you ruled the world?
What would I do if what?
What would you do if you ruled the world?
If I ruled the world, I wouldn't want to rule the world. The world is so chaotic and crazy and so ego-filled. But if I ran the world, I would just want the world to be a kinder, more compassionate, more accepting place. That's what I would want.
That's awesome. And would you do anything differently if you like could do over?
In terms of relationships, or just
like anything you want to talk about?
If I could do anything over, what would I do? Probably travel more. I've traveled a lot, but I would love to travel some more. I've been to Paris, to London. I've been to Toronto. I've been to Miami, LA. But I would like to go to Cuba. I would like to go to South Africa. I would like to go to Egypt. I would like to go to Italy. I haven't been to Italy. That is the one country I haven't been to, particularly the Amalfi Coast. I love traveling.
Ooh, that sounds awesome. You're giving me some great ideas. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, obviously we're hilarious, right? We're the most funny people in the universe. Who's the third funny person, like, you think?
Who do I think is funny? My husband is really funny. Toot toot. And I think Dave Chappelle is hilarious. I think Leslie Jones, is that her name?
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live. She's pretty raunchy and loud.
Still, I love her. Yeah, she's hilarious.
I'm not really sure if she's still on SNL, but I like her. I think she's bold, and I think she's loud, and I think she's courageous, and I think she's fiery. And I actually love comedy, and I defend comedy's right to express itself, even when it's offensive.
Yes.
Sometimes things need to be heard, and I don't take offense to many things. I know people are very sensitive
Mhm.
and PC these days, so comedy has kind of taken a hit with that.
Yes.
But I love the art of it itself, and that's why every now and then I'll try to, soften the blow of my message with some comedy because
You're
I think
hilarious. Oh my God. Like,
I
so
I try. You know what? I'm not really trying. I just want to not make my message so earnest. I know it's a
yes.
serious topic,
Yes.
and people are very triggered when it comes to money and relationships and power dynamics in relationships. But I try to just be myself and to remind people to not take themselves so seriously.
Yes.
You only have one life. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to make errors in judgment, and that is okay. You can laugh at your experience and do better the next time. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, because I love your Instagram because I saw a
Oh.
nickname for Bill Cosby and Oprah. I just love it. Like, oh my God, guys, please follow her Instagram. It's freaking hilarious. I just love your style of comedy because it's so subtle and it hits you. I'm like, oh my God, I'm just dying laughing. Yeah. So, all right, okay,
Thanks.
okay, no, yeah, that's wonderful. So, what was I? Oh, I forgot. Okay. I stay on topic. Okay, so Valentine's Day is coming up. A lot of single women are feeling like, what should we do? So what advice would you give to single women who are newly dating? What should they focus
Um, on newly dating, I would say definitely look your best, look and feel your best. I would say work out often, drink a
on?
lot of water.
Mm-hmm.
Um, on Valentine's Day, doll yourself up and make yourself look amazing. Wear some red lipstick if you can. Wear heels,
Mm-hmm.
and make it a special day. The day is supposed to be about love.
Yes.
If it's going to be about intimate love and you're going out on a date, then do that. If it's going to be love with the love of friends and family, you can celebrate that as well. I
Mm-hmm.
always say, don't wait to be with a man to look your best.
Mm.
Don't wait to
Yes.
be with for someone to profess their love for you, to turn up the heat on who you are as a woman. Express yourself. So Valentine's Day is just a great way to remind yourself of how important love is. And it's not a day to punish you because you're
Yeah. You're single.
for you to punish yourself because you're single, or for you to punish yourself because you're unmarried
Mhm.
or perpetually single. It's a day for you to remind yourself that love is important. Sometimes it can be self-love, sometimes it can be the love of friends and family, and sometimes it can be the love of intimacy and relationships.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great advice. So you also run like a really viral YouTube channel. For the time that you've been on YouTube, you just basically exploded. Because other hypergamous coaches, I feel like they've been in the game longer. But when you release
Mm-hmm.
your video, very highly produced, very well thought out and written. So like, what advice do you have for? I guess like what has your experience been like just making YouTube videos in general?
For the most part, it's been very, very positive. I think I've been doing it for about almost 8 months now, maybe
Wow,
7 months.
amazing!
Yeah,
Wow.
7, 8 months.
Mhm.
And the response has been honestly unexpected.
Mhm.
I did not plan for it. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't want to sound cliche, but it's the truth.
Mhm.
And the response has been overwhelmingly positive.
Mhm.
Of course, not everyone is going to agree with what you say or how you express
Right.
yourself. That is fine. I feel like now that people are kind of familiar with me,
Mhm.
the honeymoon period is over. So I think there are um, many more uh, people who disapprove of how I deliver my message for whatever reason. Of course, YouTube has a lot of trolls, and of course, the topic of femininity
Mhm.
and money and relationships can be very triggering for both men and women. So
Mhm.
I am open to criticism, but I am not open to being attacked.
Mhm.
So I use that block button often,
Mhm.
and I just my hope and my prayer is that people will receive my message of self-love, self-care, femininity, healing, and just better relationships and better marriages, and expanding the importance of seeing yourself as a wife, as seeing yourself as a life partner, as seeing yourself as someone who can really, who can be with someone that they can respect and admire, and that it is possible for women, but you do have to do the work. You have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in your looks. You have to invest in your attitude, and you have to invest in your mindset. And that's what I advocate the most.
I love it. Yeah, because I just feel like you have exploded in terms of like just growth for the short time period relatively compared to other like just YouTube channels. So
Yeah.
love it. One of my favorites.
I would say, yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. And I really appreciate the people who have shown me so much love and so much support, and the donations and the group, which I absolutely love, the finishing school. It's just been an amazing ride. I really didn't realize how many women needed this message, wanted to understand themselves better, understand relationships more. And I just do my best.
Mm. And it's amazing. Your best is amazing. And
Oh, thanks.
seriously, yeah, I'm so grateful for your channel.
Oh,
Changed my life for sure.
thank
Um,
you.
yeah, no problem. So I think that you deal with haters in a very classy way. So like, what advice for people who are dealing with, I guess, attackers? Like, what is a best way to deal with them?
To deal with online.
Yeah, haters and attackers and people who just don't like you in general.
Yeah, I get a lot of dust bunnies and dusties, definitely. A lot of MGTOW trolls.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sometimes, I'm all about free speech. You can express yourself, and you
Mm-hmm.
can disagree with me, but you cannot attack me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so um, psychically violent.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say to other YouTubers who are starting channels,
Mm-hmm.
who are discussing very potentially triggering subject matter, to
Mm-hmm.
protect their emotional well-being and to
Mm-hmm.
protect their mental well-being, because I think, obviously the nature of a troll is to devalue you and to attack you and to make you feel fearful
Mm-hmm.
of expressing yourself. It's just an expressed opinion. It doesn't mean you deserve to be attacked. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that you deserve to be devalued. So use that block button, use that delete button, hide the person from your channel. It's so easy to protect yourself these days. I think sometimes we're afraid as YouTubers to not allow trolls on our channel because we're afraid we're not going to get the views. We're afraid, we're
Yeah.
fearful of not getting the controversy that people pay attention to. And I've lost a lot of people in terms of negative commenters, but I realized that they removed from the um, the impact of my message than they added. And so I'm willing to take that loss because I want people who not only want to hear my message, but who are emotionally stable, and people who, they don't necessarily have to agree with everything I say, but they are respectful. And that is all that is really required. I think sometimes you can get afraid or be fearful that that will make your channel or your community boring, but I don't think that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to, because your well-being is at stake here, and
Mm-hmm.
there is life offline when you're not a YouTuber, and you need to protect your emotional and mental well-being. When I log off of YouTube and I'm here with my family and my daughter and my husband, I really want to be with them. I don't want to be affected by something negative or someone who is committed to misunderstanding me
Right.
to affect my personal life. So if it gets to that point with any YouTuber who's listening to this interview, just delete, just block, and
Mm-hmm.
know that your message is worthy of expressing, and that your voice deserves to be heard, and that you deserve to have an audience with people who are open to hearing your message. And not everyone's going to mesh with your ideas. Not everyone's going to accept who you are, but you do not have to tolerate abuse at all.
I love it. Perfect advice. I love it. So, how can we find you? What are your upcoming projects? Which channels can we connect with you and continue the conversation?
I am publishing a book called The High Value Woman. So look out for that. Self-published again. And my first book is called Stop Wearing the Pants. Pretty successful. It's an introduction to hypergamy and how to be a hypergamous woman and how to stop dwelling in your masculine energy, dwelling and leading, of course, in your masculine. And that's it. And just continuing to just put out videos, grow the channel. I privately consult clients who want advice on being feminine, hypergamous, or healing from their relationships. And that's it. It's in the group, of course, the New Feminine, the finishing school, which is honestly an awesome experience for me. I'm learning just as much as the women of my group are learning. I'm learning by the questions that they are asking me. It pushes me to be more forthright, more creative, to give women what they really need. And it's been an amazing experience.
Awesome. Yeah, and I highly recommend it as well. As a member, one of the best groups ever. So thank you so much, Chloe. This has been so awesome for me, and hope to have you on future
Thank
episodes.
You for joining my group. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was.
And thank you for being yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we'll connect soon.